It's 7:30 right now, so we'll go ahead and we'll start our presentation on the big game application workshop. Thanks for joining us. My name is Martin Olson. I'll be presenting tonight, and we have Michelle Lopez and Abby Sarnecki, who are two of our moderators that will be answering any questions that pop up using your chat. If we don't get to those questions during the presentation, at the end of it, we'll go back and revisit those and make sure all of them get answered. So thanks for joining us. And there's a lot of information to cover here, so we'll go ahead and get started. Some of the things we're going to be looking at is how bonus points work, our draw order, navigating our application process, including your profile, credit card, and email, your hunter education, auto renew on your license, and how to purchase a license by itself and during the application process. Also, we'll talk about party applications, linking accounts, and applying as an individual or a party. We'll also talk about alternate options and FCFS, first come, first serve, which was something new that began last year. We'll also make sure your return cards and surveys are all up to date. And any questions that we don't get covered there, again, we will cover at the end of our presentation. So this whole process here is just a summary, but not all of this year's changes are going to be covered in this presentation. So for the newest changes, make sure you pick up a copy of this big game seasons and applications. And you can get a hard copy at our office. You can also get an electronic version of it as well. So make sure you pick one of those up. I just wanted to mention something new that has come up that every sportsman and women should be aware of is what's called RAWA Act of 2021. And it's Recovering America's Wildlife Act. It's a bill that's critical to the future of wildlife and habitat in Nevada. So check into that. We're not going to talk too much about it, but it has been through Congress with the HR Bill 2773 and the Senate Bill 2372. So check into that. It's something very exciting for our wildlife and our habitat here in Nevada. So a few things that are new this year. The first come, first serve, which we enacted last year. But this year you will be limited to adding only one tag to your cart in a 7-day period. And also awarded successfully drawn tags, you will have 7 days to complete your purchase. And we're going to show you how to make sure your credit card is all up to date on your profile so you don't run into any issues there. And in the hunt news, we have some new hunts this year. One is a one-horn bighorn ram management hunt. And some of our depredation antlered elk hunts in unit 115 must adhere to a 5-point antler restriction. That would be no more than 5 points on either side. We've also lengthened or some of the hunt units, 132 and 131 and 164 have been combined. Mountain goat hunt in unit 102 will also include 121. And the California bighorn sheep will now be offered as a silver state tag. And we're going to talk about how to apply for all of them. And that's one of the most common questions I get is, Martin, what are my best chances to get a tag here in Nevada? And I'm going to discuss the best way to go about getting your tag. A few recent regulation changes that came up a few years ago, but I just wanted to mention them, was the use of trail cameras from August 1st to December 31st of each year. It is illegal to use them. And July 1st, if they're capable of transmitting images. Also new this year is our shed antler hunting season. And a shed antler collection certificate will be required May 1st through June 30th If you're in any of the counties here, Elko, Eureka, Lander, Lincoln, Nye, and White Pine, and that's only from May 1st to June 30th. And that certification you will be able to get on our website, and it will be coming up in the first part of April. Thermal imaging optics are not allowed for hunting or taking any game animal or game bird, or even while locating them. And then drone or unmanned aircraft, of course, is illegal to use to locate any mammals or birds throughout. Something really neat this year is hunters are always required to possess a license in the field, and that's your general hunting license. And you must have the ability to show that, and this includes electronic versions. And I'm going to show you how on your profile to print your license and send it to yourself electronically. So continuing on this year, hunters must obtain a general hunting license and to apply for the draw. And in order to collect one of your bonus points, you must keep that license. If you only select the license, if you're drawn, you will not earn a bonus point. And that's been going on for some time. I just wanted to mention that. Our licenses are good for 365 days. And as I mentioned, you can print them, have them emailed, or even electronically. Don't forget our big game harvest survey. Every year this happens. People forget to do their survey if they've drawn a tag by January 31st. I'll show you how to clear that up if you've forgotten to do that, because you will not be able to apply in the draw until you do clear that up. Another thing new last year, which I'll mention again, is party hunts and bonus points. Party hunt members are able to return their party tag to the department, but will not get their bonus points back unless all members of the party return their tag. And something new this year is you'll be able to edit that. Once you apply for a party, if you want to leave the party or if you want to change parties, you'll be able to do that before the draw happens. Once the draw happens, you're locked in there. So here's a couple of examples of those new hunts: the elk hunts, the antler depredation with the 5-point restriction, and the management ram one horn hunt. And this is a new hunt altogether here on this management one. So you'll be able to apply for a desert bighorn sheep, a desert bighorn ewe, the silver state, the PIW, and the one horn ram. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to the application part. Juniors and bonus points new this year. If you are 11-year-old and you will turn 12 before the beginning of the last junior hunt, which is mid-December, you will be able to purchase a bonus point this year. Depredation hunts, I'm always asked that question, what are they? It's basically to reduce the population density and impact on local communities. So those hunts come and go. There's not always a depredation hunt available. And last but not least here, the big game main draw electronic tag return. So within 7 days, you will be able to return your tag before it gets charged to your account. And so let's talk a little bit about the draw and how its order is produced. So we put them in groups. Group 1 is our silver state, partnership and wildlife, and junior mule deer tag. These categories are drawn first. And the reason why we put these in order is it gives you the opportunity to apply for the silver state, the PIW, and a Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep tag before that process doesn't come to an end with the Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep. The idea of it was you would be able to apply for these when you can only receive one tag in each category. So a little bit confusing there, but like I mentioned, when you apply for tags, and I will show you this, you can apply for the silver state Nelson bighorn, Then you can apply for the wildlife, partnership in wildlife, and those are separate draws. So that's giving you 2 opportunities. Then you can come down to group 2 and apply for the Nelson Desert Bighorn Sheep Ram here. So now you've got 3 opportunities for that category. Then you can apply for the Nelson Desert Bighorn Sheep U, which gives you your 4th category. And then here, the Management One Horn Ram. So you have 5 chances to get into separate draws to apply for those. But once you draw one, if you draw the Silver State of the PIW up here, and you have all these other applications in, those are pulled out of the system because you can only have one of each species. There are some exceptions to that, and one is the heritage tags, which is sometimes deemed the auction tag or the dream tag. Now, the dream tag, you can get 2 species in there, but they have to be in a different category. By that, I mean, if you drew an antlerless elk tag and then you drew the dream tag that was a bull tag, you would be able to keep that one. But if you drew a antlered elk tag and then in the dream tag you drew an antlered elk tag, you would have to return the one in this one. So the reason why we put them in those categories, it gives people more opportunity to apply for species. Because if you end up drawing a horn shorter than ear or an antlerless elk, you've already been unsuccessful in group 1 and 2. So there's a lot of information in our book that we have. So if you miss some things I say or you didn't quite understand it, you can always look in there and that will give you a little bit of help. And we'll start off by talking about bonus points. It's the most common question, and you want to understand this, and you want to understand why you want to earn bonus points in different categories. And what we're going to look at right here is going to be just the antler deer and the antelope horns longer than ears. So you can see that John Doe here has 1 point in the antler deer and 4 bonus points in antelope horns longer than ears. So the bonus points are squared. So in the antler deer, we have 1 bonus point. 1 times 1 is 1. And every application gets its own number. And the reason why, because if you have 0 bonus points, we've got to give an application a number. So every application, no matter how many bonus points you got, automatically receives a number every year. So you can see that under the antler deer, you have a total of 2 numbers, which the computer will randomly select between 1 and 100 million and assign to that application. Same thing with buck antelope. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 1 for the application gives a total number of 17. And when that happens, the computer will look at the lowest number that was assigned to that application, which is 5 million in this case here, and it is assigned to that application. So in essence, every application only gets 1 number, even though this number was chosen by a group of 2. And then when we look at the antelope, you can see the real benefit in earning bonus points here, because there was a lot of numbers given here. And luckily, this individual's number was very low. So the more bonus points you have, the more chance you have of getting a low number. And even though there was 17 numbers here, only that one number, number 16 there, which is 1.9 million, is assigned to this application. The other ones are just discarded. And when we talk about bonus points for parties, it happens the same way. The only difference is we look at the individuals that's in the party, and you can see Charlie here had 2 bonus points, Bill had 6, and John had 2. So we add those up for a total of 10, and then we divide by the number in the party. So in this case, divided by 3 is 3.33. It's rounded to the nearest whole number, which gives this application 3 bonus points. Now, a party application acts as one application, no matter how many members of the party is in there. What you want to make sure when you're doing party applications is there's enough tags available in the unit you're selecting, especially if you've got a non-resident in your party. If there's only 2 tags in the application booklet for non-residents, and you have 2 non-residents in your application, you're asking for all of those tags. If there's not enough tags in the party group for 1 member, then everybody is unsuccessful. So the party application is all or none, and there's got to be enough tags. Also, if there's 3 people and they're all residents, and by the time your number comes up, there's only 2 tags left, you would be unsuccessful. So it is possible to have a lower number and a person with a higher number get a tag in that unit because there wasn't enough numbers for your party to win that tag. So here's the party application. They had 10 numbers. You can see how they got the 1.6 million, and that goes to their application. And then all those numbers are put in ascending order. And then it's just like your ticket in line. So by the time your number comes up, hopefully there's some tags left in the units you selected. And if there are enough, then you win and you're successful. If there aren't enough, you're unsuccessful. And you will get 5 choices on there. I highly recommend that everybody select 5 choices. Every year I talk to individuals that say, I only want to hunt in this 1 unit. And that's fine. And you can only choose 1 unit if you wish to, but you are reducing your chances of drawing a tag. This is some neat stuff that we have on our website, ndow.org, and I highly recommend everyone go in and check this out. It's the top 10 big game tag application resources. And number 2 there, Hunt Nevada, is a great opportunity. If you look to the right in that lower box there, it gives you percentages, your chances of drawing in each unit. Keep in mind, if everybody did the same thing every year, the statistics would be much easier to understand, but every year people don't do exactly the same thing. You can also click on bonus points. This is very beneficial to looking at how many people in those units and how many bonus points they already have. The hunt stats and checkout summaries will tell you basically where people were hunting and how many days they hunted and whether they were successful or not. So there's a lot of neat things here. Do your homework, do some of this stuff on here. And then last but not least, get out and do some scouting. Scouting is the number 1 thing you can do. So this is a test site, so there's no secrets here going on anywhere. I'm going to show you how, if you are a new client, how you need to sign up and create your profile. Now, anyone born after January 1st, 1960 needs to have a hunter education certificate in Nevada. So if you haven't or don't have your hunter education, there's a few ways you can get that. You can come to an in-person class that we're offering. You can take it online. If you took it out of state, you need to have that card with you, and we need to attach it to your profile. If you decide just to go ahead and take the Nevada Hunter Education online, go ahead and create your profile here first, because it will transport it right over to your profile once you complete that course. So if you're new, click on sign up right here. And then if you are already an existing customer, you enter your email and password. Now, if you forgot your password, you can click on forgot my password there. And when you do that, reset my password without an email. It will allow you to do it right there by checking your email. So if you're new though, you're going to have to enter your date of birth, and it will ask you to choose an identification method. There's a few choices here. Choose the social security number. Some people don't have a social security number. They have a passport number or something else. If that's the case you're in, you will need to come down to our office so we can set you up with that. But choose the social security number so the system can search for you. Once it does search for you, if there is no record, it's going to say no customer found. Then you simply click on create new. You're going to fill out all of this information, your name, address, date of birth, and all that stuff. You can always go back and edit this information with the exception of your social security and your name. You'll be able to do, your email, your address, and date of or height, weight, eye color, all that. Very important, whether you're a new client or an existing client, to make sure your address and email is correct. If you do draw a big game tag and it comes to an old address, they are not forwarded. You would have to come back and purchase a duplicate. So whether you're new or an existing client, go in and make sure all of this data is up to date. Once you do that, it's going to tell you that a new account was created. It's going to give you your client ID number, and you can see there the name of this person is Hunter Buck. And he is going to be one of the guys we're going to go through the whole process here. So on the left-hand side here under my account, we've got a whole bunch of categories here. Now, I like to do this first. Some of this stuff you can do at the end, but I like to take care of everything up front before I apply for any game or any game tags. So we've already created the profile. My order history is going to be nothing because I'm a new client. And my payment method, I'm going to click on. And very simple, I have nothing listed here. So I'm going to add a new card. As I mentioned earlier, whether you're existing or a new client, you only have 7 days in here for this card to be charged. And that's why you can also return your tag within the 7 days electronically before this happens. Now, the one reason why this is very important, if you purchased a license last year in June, because our license is 365 days, and you go in here to apply for tags, it's going to let you because you have a valid license. And then you draw a deer tag, and your deer tag doesn't start till October. You forget about your license, and then you don't have a hunting license, and you go into the field. I'll show you a trick a little bit later on how to never let that happen to you, because you need to have a hunting license when you're in the field along with your big game tag. So click on add new card. You fill out the information just like a regular credit card and save your payment method. And then it's going to tell you up in the top right-hand corner that a card was added successfully. So you want to make sure that it says that, and then you'll click back on your account and we can continue at looking some of these things. If you're an existing client and you weren't sure if you did return your card, you can click on this return cards and surveys. You can see this client is new, so he has no surveys or he has no return cards. Here is an existing client that has surveys due and has in the past reported some, and you can see it all tells you right there what was uploaded and what was pending and what has expired. So if you didn't do your return card and you had a big game tag this year, you're going to have to click on that, fill it out, and you will pay a $50 fee for doing that since it's past the deadline. But you will not be able to continue until you do that. So that's something to look for if you're an existing client. So you can do it right here online. If you click the arrow down button on the right over there, and then you can take the survey, and then we can move down and look for applications and points. Again, if you're a new client, you're not going to have any applications that's going to show up here. If you are an existing client, if you click on points, it's going to tell you how many points that you have in the history, and it's going to also show you how many applications you put in. So this is an existing client right here, and you can see all the points that this person has built up. Once again, very important to build these bonus points up in Nevada because we are on a bonus point system, and it definitely gives you an advantage, but it does not give you any guarantee. If you click on applications, you can see here, it will tell you when your application was unsuccessful, or if you just applied for points only, or if you were awarded a tag. In this particular case, in 2019, this person was awarded a Nelson's Bighorn Sheep U tag. Other things you can look for, here is your safety certification. One reason why I say create your profile on this website first, because if you go and take the Nevada online hunter education, that certificate will transpose right here on here and it would be in your profile. If you don't do this first and you go take the class and then you come and create the profile, sometimes it will not transfer over and you will have to add it yourself, which is not a big deal because you've got the paper right in your hand with all the information. So you click on add new, and the only one you can do is a Nevada hunter education certificate. So you click on that arrow down there, that's your only choice. Then you enter the certificate number and which state that you took it on, which would only be Nevada. So it doesn't give you a lot of choices there. So here's an existing client who has all of his safety certificates shown in his profile. And you can see because he did draw that Bighorn U, he had to go and take a Bighorn U identification course, which he did online, and it shows up in your safety certifications. If you have a hunter education card from another state and you have it in your possession, you can email it to this address. Unfortunately, at this point, there's nothing more you can do as far as applying for a license or tags, because we've got to get that certificate in your profile before you can continue. So don't delay on doing that. If you don't have that card from another state, you can always contact that state and ask to get a duplicate from them. Of course, some of this stuff takes time. Another avenue around this is simply go take the Nevada course and it will transfer right to your profile. And in order to buy even a hunting license, this is what it's looking for, and then you would click the submit button. Auto renewals, what I mentioned a minute ago about having a license and you forgot about it because it expired in June or July. Whenever you buy a license online here, it's automatically in the auto renew. So you can remove that if you want to by clicking no, but it's a wonderful feature. It prevents a lot of issues in the future. And if you're buying bonus points, you need to have a license every year. So I recommend highly you keep the auto renew on. That way you'll never get it, because 365 days the license is good for. Sometimes it's difficult to remember exactly when my license is expiring. Linking a customer account. Don't confuse linking an account with a party hunt. It has nothing to do with party hunting. Linking a person's account to your profile is designed for a lot of juniors who maybe do not have an email, some people who do not have a computer or any internet service, anything like that. You can link them to your account. But remember, only you can sign into your account with your email and your password. A person linked to your account will have to wait for you to bring them up before they can do anything. Or you can do this for them. A lot of parents do it for their son and daughter, and a lot of people do it for their mom and dad. So you can link an account there. It's very easy. You simply click link account. And remember this? Yeah, this is what we did right at the beginning of this. You're going to enter your date of birth and choose your social security because they're going to search for you. And in this case, Spike Buck, this guy's son, happened to have an account, so it instantly linked him right to his account. Now, one thing important to know when you're doing this, if you look up in this corner, you can see it says Hi Hunter Buck right here. Hunter Buck is the primary. This is my account. And down here at the bottom, it says Spike Buck. So I'm going to go through here and apply Hunter Buck all of his applications. And then when I want to do spike, I've got to go up here and change to spike buck so he comes up top. Because right now I'm just doing one. We can say spike buck is maybe a junior. So once I'm on him, I wouldn't be able to, or he wouldn't be able, Hunter Buck wouldn't be able to apply in the junior hunt because he doesn't meet those qualifications. So once you do that, you can click on it and you can see up in the right-hand corner there, now it says High Spike Buck. So we've changed profiles there. And he is linked to me with my email and my password. And I can fill this out for him. I can use my credit card in his profile, or if he has his own credit card, if he happens to be a friend of yours, you can put all of his information in there as well. Very simple. When Hunter Buck decides he wants to get his own account, you can simply click on that arrow down and unlink him from your account. License and permits, you can see here, no one has any license yet on this one. This system is also designed to register vessels. And if I'm not looking for the big game draw, if I just want to buy a hunting license and go upland game hunting or something, I can come in here and just go right to license and permits and purchase one of them. And how, once I do that, I can print my license up in that upper right-hand corner. And when I click on that, it's going to show my license. And then it's also going to give me the option here to print my license or to email my license to me. And you can do both. I recommend printing it and then having an email backup. Most people who are out in the field do have their phone with them. Take a snapshot of that in your photos so you can always possess that should a game warden ask you for it. Now, when you choose your license, you will need to choose whether you are a Nevada resident, and it tells you what the stipulations are for that. It also gives you an option of a resident senior. If you're not of senior status, you will not get that option. And then you will also be a non-resident. So you need to check one of those boxes. Once you check the Nevada resident, you will need to put the residency date that you moved to Nevada, and then click submit. Now here you get choices of license. You'll notice the senior license is not here, and that's because I'm not a senior. So it doesn't give me that option on this one. But I always choose the resident annual hunt fish combo because chances are throughout the year, I'm probably going to do some fishing as well. And doing the combo license, it's a little bit less expensive. And also a few years back, we did away with all the stamps as far as upland game stamps, trout stamps, and all that. So it's a one license fits all. When you do that, it's going to ask you, and we looked at the surveys already early on, it's going to say, will you hunt ducks or geese in Nevada this year? Well, I may. So I click yes, but it's not the end of the world if I end up not doing it. Because next year when I get the survey, it's going to say, did you hunt? And I will say, no, I didn't go duck hunting. But guess what? I did go geese hunting and I bagged 1 to 10. So you have to fill that out and submit that. And that's in your return cards and surveys. Here's one way, if you don't like the auto renew on your license, you can remove that here. The other way, of course, is on your profile on the left-hand side. So here's my checkout here because I've just bought a license right now. It's going to ask me if I want to donate to the Resource Enhancement Fund. Don't confuse that with the Dream Tag and the Resource Enhancement Stamp. Totally different things. This money goes into the enhancement fund and is used by the department up to 50% of the money in that account plus interest for augmenting habitat throughout Nevada and special projects that come up to be. So I always donate some to that. I already showed you how to print and email your license to you. If you want it shipped to you, there is additional fees for that. And when you come to a mountain lion tag, that tag will be mailed to you because you cannot print the mountain lion tag. Now, we already did this too. This is our credit card payment, so you can wait to the end to do this. I like to do it all up front. So if I want to add a new card, I simply click on add the new card right there. But I've already entered my credit card. So now I just click on that card I want to use, and I agree to the terms and conditions and place my order. And yay, I'm all happy. My order has been placed. It gives me an order number. It gives me everything there. I can print my receipt. I can go on my way. Or I can go back to my account down at the bottom. So here's another way to get rid of that auto renewals. You can click on auto renewals and simply remove it. So the moment you've all been waiting for, let's apply for some tags. So that's one way of getting your hunting license before applying for tags. You don't have to do that if you're applying for tags, because when you come in here, it's going to prompt you if you need a license. That's why I said you want to check that to make sure when your license is valid too. Because if your license is valid, it's not going to prompt you to purchase a license right now. But if you do draw a tag, you will need to have that license on your person. So up at the top, we click on apply for tags, and you'll see I'm back in the hunter buck thing. When I go to do Spike, I'll have to change to his profile. Here's a unique list of frequently asked questions that you will be able to click on this year. It's about 3 to 4 pages. So if I've missed something or you missed something I said, you can click on this, and more than likely the answer to your question is right in there. And this is on the application site. So it looks something like this. It gives you a whole list of things. If a tag is returned to the department, there's a ton of information in here. And our website has been updated so much with all kinds of information for you guys to get out there and do some homework on it and find some of the answers that you're looking for. So here it prompts me to buy the license, and I'm right back to a Nevada resident. I'm going to add my residency date, and then I'm going to go into this area here where I can start with antelope, California bighorn sheep. It doesn't matter where I start. I'm going to actually start with mule deer. And so we're going to go ahead and do a mule deer application. But all of these I can go back and apply for. Each one of these black boxes is a category. The only one certain people will not be able to do is going to be this junior antlered hunt if you don't meet those requirements, or if you're on a waiting period. This box will not show up. It will not give you that option to choose because you don't qualify for it. So there's lots of hunts you can sign up for. And if you decide, you only want to do deer, you're thinking about elk, you're thinking about bighorn sheep, you can just purchase a bonus point for that. The bonus point program is also designed if you've got something else planned this year, maybe there's a big wedding going on, and you're not going to be able to get out in the field in October because you've got too much going on, buy a bonus point. You need to keep yourself in the game with that. So here's all my options for mule deer. I'm going to want to choose the Silver State mule deer tag. That is a $20 application fee plus $3 predator fee and $1 processing fee. The next one down here is my mule deer antler hunt. It's a $10, and you can see it tells me here I have 0 points on there. So your points are going to show up on this side too, so you get an idea. So I'm going to want to apply for this draw, and I also can request to be an alternate. If you misunderstand what I say here, you can click on what is an alternate and it will tell you. What this is, if you're unsuccessful and someone returns a tag in your first choice, and you're next in line, that tag will automatically be mailed to you. And that's up to 2 weeks before the season starts. That tag would not go to the first come, first serve because there is a valid alternate for it. So Uh, Mule Deer Partnership and Wildlife is in another draw. It's a separate draw. There's 22 tags in there for mule deer. This is the general draw. This is any unit hunt. So you don't choose units for this. You can go anywhere you want to. Here you're going to choose units for. This you can go in any unit with the exception of some sheep restrictions. If you choose these, you will not be able to choose mule deer bonus point only. Because if you choose bonus point only, there's no way you're going to draw a tag. You're not in the draw. You're just buying a bonus point. So the next question is, how do I want to hunt? Don't fret on this, because something new this year, you'll be able to change this, and we'll show you how to do that. So if right now I want to do an individual hunt, I just click on individual. If I know I want to do a party hunt and I want to be the party leader, then I would create a party hunt. If someone else has already created a party and they've given me their party number, I can simply click join an existing party. The party leader selects the units. The other members joining the party do not get to choose units. You're all going to have the same units. Purchase a license now with this application. You will see this choice underneath there, purchase a hunting license only if successful in the draw. You can choose that, but remember, you will not earn a bonus point if you do not have a valid hunting license for the year. Here's something I wanted to talk a little bit about, and this is on some of our NDOW website under the top 10 resources. This is a list of bonus points, and I just picked this unit up. There's no special unit, but I just wanted to show you how on the right-hand side here, or I'm sorry, left-hand side, the bonus points. Here's the number of bonus points people had, and here's the successful applicants who this was their first choice, this was their second choice, third, fourth, fifth. Here's the total number of applicants. So if you want to know how many people are applying for units, their first, second, third, fourth, fifth choice, this is a great process to look these units up, and you can choose whichever unit that you want to. What's important to notice here is this is why you want to gain bonus points, because these people had 3 bonus points, and you can see out of 13 people who chose this as their first choice, 14 out of their second choice, 8 and 2 received tags in this. Really, and here's the quota, 30 tags. So a third of the tags went to people with this number of bonus points. People who had 4 bonus points, their first choice, 4 of them were successful in this unit. Now you see up here, here's a person who had no bonus points. It was his first choice and he was successful. That's how our system is set up. It's set up so it's possible to draw a tag. Your odds are better when you have more bonus points, but not guaranteed. Here you can see somebody had 6 bonus points and there was no successful applicants there. And that's just because they ended up choosing one of those high numbers. Maybe all of their numbers out of there was just really high. So keep that in mind, build your bonus points. I'm going to go ahead and choose the resident annual hunt and fish. And remember, this looks a little bit different because this is going through the tag application process, and it's telling me that I need a license. Now, if my license was good to July, it would not tell me I need a license yet here. It would ask me, do I want to purchase a license when my license expires? So keep that in mind, because you don't want to let that license lapse. So here you can see I've checked all these boxes. Make sure they're the green box. I did check the alternate because that always gives me an opportunity. I understand some people can't do the alternate. They need more time to request off work. It doesn't work for them, but it works for a lot of people, and it keeps that tag from going into the first come, first serve. And remember, if there's no eligible alternate, then the tag would go into the first come, first serve. You'll notice down at the bottom, the mule deer bonus point only is a light gray. That's because that's not an option for me to choose because I'm applying in the Silver State, the general draw, and the PIW. Uh, if I do not click the request to be an alternate, like an example here, it's going to ask me, do I want to stay and review these selections, or I'm happy with what I chose, I'm ready to go on. So you'll see this. Make sure you'll have to click one of those before you can submit and go on. Okay, now the big part of how do I choose my units? Well, we've done all of our homework. We've looked up some of the resources. We've looked up statistics. We've done some scouting. It's very simple here. If you applied last year, the system is going to ask you, do you want the same selection that you did last year? You can choose yes, or you can choose no, I want to choose something different this year. You simply click on that plus sign next to the unit you want. It's going to come up like this. It will automatically default to any legal weapon. So I'm an any legal weapon hunter, which means I can use a rifle, a bow, a muzzleloader, or even a crossbow during this hunt. And you can see it tells me the number of tags that are offered there. And this was from last year. This year's quota has not been set yet. All these quotas are from last year. It gives me the date that it happens, and I can click those two. There's only two options in that unit for any legal weapon. So I'm going to choose them, and I have to click submit choices. And then if now I get 5 choices. So this was only 2. I can stop here if I want to, but once again, Martin, what's my best chances for getting a tag? Well, your best chances are applying for at least 5 units. If you want to, you can move over to archery. You'll notice how it turned white there, and the any legal weapon is a dark blue. So make sure you're in the right category. Mostly you can tell that too by the date. Archery is a lot earlier in the year. There was 270 tags. I can choose this, and I did. So I got to click submit choice. I also want to choose a muzzleloader hunt this year. Why not? I'm going to try it. I'll click that and submit my choices, and then I'm going to choose one more any legal weapon. So I went back to the any legal weapon and chose that one. And you notice at the top, it tells me you've reached the maximum number of choices. Over on the far right, it shows all the choices, and I can click and drag and move them around if I want to. Or if I'm happy with that, I can submit all my choices. Once I do that, it's going to ask me if I want to purchase a mountain lion tag. I always buy a mountain lion tag because I'm out quite a bit, and you never know. So yes, I'm going to purchase that right here online, and that will be mailed to you. Now it's going to give me my total amount due here. This is not the tags. This is just the application fees because I haven't drawn any tags yet. At a later date is when I draw the tag and it will be charged to my account, which is why at the beginning I said, make sure your credit card is good, because if they charge those tags to you, you only have 7 days and you will lose your bonus points. It's just like you drew a tag, you just didn't pay for it, and you won't get it, and you will lose your bonus points. So make sure your credit card is up to date. Here's what's owed right now. It's going to show me my example here, and this was for deer, mountain lion, and my general hunting license, and the silver state tag and the PIW. Now, you can check out here if that's all you want to do, but I'm going to continue shopping, go back, and I'm going to do bighorn sheep, all 3 species of it, the Rocky Mountain and the California. I'm going to do elk. I'm probably going to do bull elk and antlerless elk. And I may even do the one-horn ram. And that is a once in a lifetime. Once you draw that, it's only one time. There's no bonus points in that. You will build no bonus points in the one-horn ram. And it's going to ask me, last but not least, is do I want to include my draw results on the list? The list is what comes up on our website after the draw that tells all the successful applicants and what you drew. If you're fine with waiting and signing on to your account and looking under your applications and points and see if you were awarded one, you can do that. It keeps your information off the website. If you'd like to know right away, you'll want to definitely click, please include my draw results on the list. And then as soon as the draw results are up, they'll come up on our website. And last but not least, it's going to ask me again here if I would like to donate $20 to the Resource Enhancement Fund. You can do this in increments of anywhere from $10 to $1,000. I usually do $20, and then it's going to list everything that I've purchased over here. And last but not least, the mountain lion tag is going to be shipped to me, as I mentioned. My hunting license, I can print myself, or I can have that shipped to me as well. You do have the opportunity here to remove anything that you don't like before you get to the final checkout. Remember when we created the profile, or if we were an existing client, we went in and made sure our address was correct. Very important. Here, my address, it's going to ask me if I want to add a new shipping address, but nope, I'm going to click the one up above because that is my address. And all those items above with the green check there is going to be mailed to this address. Remember, none of these tags are ever forwarded, so make sure your address is correct. So there's my billing address, and there's my shipping address, my payment method, and I have to agree to that and then place order. And Yahoo, we're all dancing around again because that's done. Now I could go back before I checked out there and added all those other hunts. But I'm just doing one right now for the process that we're going through here. But let's say I do this and then somebody calls and says, hey, I thought we were going to go hunting together, and why don't you come into my party? So I can go back, sign on, go back to my account under application and points, and you can see here the arrow down button over on this side. You're going to click on this. It's going to tell you here that I'm an individual, and suddenly I want to join another friend of mine to go hunting. So once I click on that arrow down, you'll see where it says individual and have a little pencil there. You click on that little pencil, and the person that I'm joining with has given me a party hunt number. So I need to put that party hunt number in and click search. Do not create a new party. Otherwise, you're going to be the party leader on that. Now, remember, I've already chosen my deer hunting units, but if I join another party, I'm joining another party with a party leader. So my choices will change to whatever the party leader chose. So keep that in mind. And once I click search on that, it's going to come up and it's going to give me the name Party Leader Royal Buck. And that's the party that I wanted to join. So then I simply click join. You can do the same thing if you want to create your own party and you want to be the party leader. You simply would just go back in there and create a party. And then you would have to give that number to all the other party members that you want to join you. If you have joined a party and for some reason you want to leave that party and join another party, you can do so. You simply click leave the party, and then you become an individual. Or you can click change the party, and then you can you'll have to have another party number, and you'll enter that party number, search it, and that will add you to that party. Just make sure you're getting into the right party. There's your group code, and the group code is what you will need to give someone once you create a party. They'll need that code in order for them to join your party. And you can see this one here says group currently has no members. That's because nobody's has joined me yet. If you do leave a party and become an individual, your hunt choices will remain the same, but don't fret on that. You can also go in there and change that. It's going to ask you for sure, do you want to leave the hunting party? And of course, in this, you're going to say yes. These numbers will stay the same, but you can always go back and edit your choices. And where that is right here is on the far right-hand side. You can go back and edit your choices. If you're an individual and you say, you know what, I changed my mind, I don't want to hunt in those units, you go back in and edit your choices. Do not withdraw the application. Remember, I've already paid these application fees because I checked out. And if I withdraw this application, I lose those application fees. If I decide, okay, I want to go back and join a party now, or I want to go back and do something, I have to pay those fees again. So only withdraw the application if you don't want bonus points, you're not going, and you're still going to lose those application fees. So keep that in mind. Let's see, you also can convert to bonus points. If something suddenly comes up, you decide you're going to go on a cruise this October, and so I'm just going to go in and convert mine to bonus points. Remember, this has to be done before the draw. So once the draw happens, everything is closed on this. Okay, so that basically is the end of my presentation. I hope that was helpful for you. You can contact our helpline at 1-855-542-6369. If you have any questions on there, you can contact me at mgolson@ndow.org or 419-9777. I hope that happens, and I'm going to bring Michelle and Abby back out to see if we have any questions that maybe I didn't cover, or if anybody's unclear on anything. Michelle, Abby?
I have one question on how party application points are calculated for the draw.
How the application points are calculated?
For parties.
Okay.
Like bonus points. So if you put in for a party, do you get more points?
Nope. I kind of went over that. It's the what we do is we average all bonus points. So if you have a group of 3 and one person has 6 and the other 2 has 2, we take an average of them, which would give you 3 bonus points for that application, because a party application is simply just one application, and it only gets one number. Even though the computer is going to select you 10 numbers out of there and then take the lowest number and give to that application.
Awesome, thank you.
Good.
Are there any other questions? Oh, here we go. One more. Do you give any consideration to first-time hunters or women? I wish.
No, everybody's in the same boat. That's why you need to build your bonus points. That's going to be your best avenue. And you know, we've got people that have 29 bonus points in some units, whether it's just the luck of the draw, or maybe they're only selecting one unit and only want to hunt in that one unit. That's why I said your best opportunity is to select as many units as you can, get into as many categories as you can, buy the bonus points. They cost $10 just to buy them. I get it. Not everybody can apply for 13 hunts and go, you know, hunting 5-6 times in 1 year. So yeah, buy the bonus points and start building those up.
Okay, so we're actually getting a lot of questions now.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with the chat, and that's just so I don't lose them, FYI.
Okay. All right.
There's a bunch of you guys with questions, so don't worry, we are going to get to you all. I can answer some myself. So the first one is, there are 8 categories. Can I select one per category?
Yeah, like for example of elk, you can choose the Silver State Bull Elk. You can choose the PIW Bull Elk. You can choose the General Antlered Elk. You can choose a antlerless elk. You can choose a spike elk, and then you can choose the depredation bull. So yeah, those are all separate categories. Each one of those categories is going to get a number, and it depends on how many bonus points you got in each category. Each category carries its own bonus points, with the exception of the depredation hunts. They don't gain. Management hunts and depredation hunts don't gain bonus points. And neither does the Silver State either, the PIW.
And then I know this one, but I just want to double check for Brian. Don't go anywhere just yet. When you draw, can you lose bonus points for like cow versus bull elk, or is each category individual for bonus points?
Yep, each category is individual. So if you draw let's say you've got 10 bonus points in bull and 10 bonus points in antlerless elk, and you draw a bull tag, you zero out in the bull area and you get the tag. And because you drew the bull, you're not eligible for the antlerless elk. So you're going to be pulled out of there, but it's going to give you a bonus point, just like you were unsuccessful. Which is why I say you want to apply in all those categories, because, you know, and it depends on individual hunters. Some people are trophy hunters. Some people are just meat hunters. If you're a meat hunter, you don't necessarily care if you get a bull, you know, or a cow, because some people would think the meat is a little different, but it's a lot of meat on those bull elk, and they're different categories. So then next year, when you looked at your bonus points, it'd say bull elk 0, cow elk 11, because you each had 10 points when you went into there.
There are some really good questions, and I am trying to type as fast as possible because I do know some of these answers.
That's okay. We got all night.
Some of us have to wake up at 5 a.m. Just kidding. Okay, so let me start at the top. And so I can answer some. Well, can you please go over resident and non-resident party application process?
Okay, so the resident and non-resident party applications are for mule deer. And what you want to look for is the quota, because the quota for non-resident is a lot less than resident. So if you're doing a party hunt with resident and non-resident, you want to look for units that have a larger quantity of the non-resident, because you need to have an available tag. If your party number comes up and the 3 residents there's available tags for, but there's none left in the non-resident, your entire party is unsuccessful. So you can put those in individually, but then of course you stand a chance of the non-resident drawing and the other 3 people not drawing, which is why the party is there. And that's why the bonus points are averaged on the party hunt. And if you're an individual non-resident, you're going to want to do the same thing. If you're going to look at the quota from last year and determine, what are your best odds. And you can look up on our website, that ndow.org, some of those sheets that we have, and can calculate kind of how many people are putting in there as non-resident. There's a lot of information on there. Just too much to show all at one time on a program like this. Does that help?
Sounds good to me. And I think you were able to answer another question. If he did not answer your question, James, please let us know. And then I was answering, but I would like you to get into the specifics. If you have a hunter certificate from another state, can you get a Nevada hunting license? Do they need to bring it in?
No, you can scan it or take a photo of it and send it to that Zendesk email, and they will verify it and they will add it to your profile. But please go create a profile. It's going to be easier once you have your profile, and give them your client ID number and scan that out-of-state hunter ed card, and they'll add it to your profile.
Thank you. What's the youngest? Oh, I think I answered this one. What's the youngest age a person can start obtaining bonus points for youth?
11. at 11 this year, as long as their birthday is before the last junior hunt season, which is mid-December. And the reason why that came to be is there's not a lot of hunt. Let's say your birthday was November 30th. You'd only have about 2 choices to hunt there, maybe 3 for this year, because you're not 12 yet. You have to be 12 years old to hunt big game in Nevada. And that gives you the option of purchasing a bonus point because you are turning 12 this year. You're just missing all the dates for the junior hunt.
I think we cleared them all. If there are any questions I missed, please let us know. And like Martin said, or like you heard at the beginning of logging on, it is recorded and you'll be able to see this shortly. Very welcome, Mr. Flynn. Thanks for joining us. Had a good turnout, Martin.
Great, great. How many people did we have?
28 still logged on.
Nice, nice. Well, we appreciate it, and let us know if we can answer any more of your questions. Remember, the deadline is not till May 10th. So we've got some time to do this and do some research. I want to especially thank Abby Sarnecki and Michelle Lopez for sitting in and moderating and help answer all these questions. So if there's no more, I guess we will end our session.